सारे एमपी मिलके इन्हीं बातों के साथ मैं अपनी बात को समाप्त करता हूं। जय हिंद।
Thank you. Honorable Member Shri Bhartruhari Mahtab ji. Mahtab ji. Is not ready. Not ready. Mahtab ji.
Thank you.
Ready?
Sir.
Unexpected call, I think. Unexpected call. You're not ready.
I'm unable. Unexpectedly. Yes. I was expecting Sivasana to speak before me.
No, she was a member late. Came late.
Because I don't have the habit of jumping the queue. And thank you for allowing me to speak. It is definitely a nostalgic moment. Nostalgic in the sense that when you leave one house and go to a new one, you have all the expectations of the new house. And you have all the expectations how it would be. And as we have seen the other day when it was inaugurated, the technological advancement that has been put forth before all our seats is lacking here. Here it is very difficult, you also know yourself, that we have to squeeze our legs to sit in these benches. But the best part is, we don't relax while sitting in the Lok Sabha, in this house. We always sit little bit
Congestion.
in action mode, yes, on the edge. And always the people also put us on the edge, so that we always strive to get elected again and again. I remember the day I first got elected to this house in 1998. Our party was, for the first time, got elected to Parliament. Yes. And that during that period, there were a lot of anxiety, how long the government will last, because it was a conglomeration of 26 political parties led by Atalji. Anxiety was there. And while sitting in the central hall, normally when you have nothing to do or when you are anxious, you look upwards. And all of us, we were sitting in the bench where I still sit, in that last bench of central hall. And some of my friends always allow me to sit in that bench. We looked up. And in the inverted dome, we saw number of extra domes. That time, one of my friend, my colleague, had said, my intention is to be a member of this house at least for 2 terms. Then I asked him, 2 terms means 10 years. अगर 10 साल हो गया तो काफी है यहाँ मेंबर होने में, फिर हम अपने प्रोफेशन में निकल जाएंगे. That time I had yes, and that time I suggested, very foolishly of course, that let us count the hexagons which are up there. Let us count it. And the day we get the correct answer, I am yet to count it. The day we get the correct answer, counting it, think that that is the last term of yours in this house. And Mr. Sivaskumar Udasi has already counted it. And he has been repeatedly telling us the eventuality. So I'm a short-sighted person. I'm very poor in arithmetic. I'm yet to complete the counting, and I still venture to count. Yes. Sir, we are celebrating Amrit Kal of Bharat, independent India. We are in the 75th year of our independence. I bow my head in reverence to those freedom fighters who gave away their present for our future. for our tomorrow. Let us not forget that it is because of their sacrifice, their titikya, tapasya, tyag, we gained freedom. And in Swadhin Bharat, our forefathers framed the Constitution not by diktat of a few, but democratically after full-fledged discussion, deliberation, and debate. It is the Constitution that has guaranteed us to remain one as a nation. They deliberated for 2 years, 11 months, the Honorable Prime Minister mentioned that time period. Many kingdoms ruled different parts of the present-day India in different eras. At no point of history, the borders of the present were borders of the past. This political map came into existence 75 years ago. A question may arise, is it language that keeps us together? Andhra Pradesh, sharing the same classical language, Telugu, split into 2 states, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, being Hindi-speaking states, also split in not recent past. If language cannot unite even states and provinces, how can it be the basis of a nation? Are we united because of culture? Culturally, Bengalis and Bangladeshis share similar linguistic culture, icons, food, dress, but they have different majority religions and have fought bitter battles a few decades ago. Is it Hinduism that defines the unity of India? Then why is Nepal a different country? Had religion been the defining force of a nation, then all Muslim countries be one nation. All Christians countries also be in one nation, but that is also not the case. As we see, none of the factors like language, religion, or culture guarantee to remain one as a nation. The political landmass that we call Bharat or India as is because of our Constitution. Article 1 defines our nation today. And that was framed in this edifice 75 years ago. We all believe in the Constitution. It is our respect towards our national flag, national anthem, and national emblem that holds us to our nation. It is our trust in electoral democracy, despite its flaws. We all believe that all are equal before the law, irrespective of gender, race, religion, caste, language, or culture, and this keeps us together. This present model has so far proved better in keeping us together. If we forget this, it will splinter into many parts, like how it was for most part of our history. Our republic is commemorating the 150th birth year of Sri Aurobindo, 90th death anniversary of Bipin Chandra Pal, and the 103rd birth anniversary of Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Long before, in 1905, these 3 intellectual giants laid the foundation of our freedom struggle with clarity on the power of Swaraj, nationalism, and Sanatan Dharma. It is the great resilience and tolerance of the Indian people that has contributed to the unity amidst fascinating diversity. It is the spirit of togetherness and tolerance and acceptance of other point of view that has bound us together, the people of Bharat, of diverse region and culture, while extreme individualism and separatism have marked the evolution of European nationalism. Admittedly, all was not well with the Indian civilization in its journey towards unity and integration of our nation. We should remember the painstaking effort that Sardar Patel had made in uniting this country. The princely states were declared as independent, and there were certain states, major states, princely states of that era, who wanted to ally with Pakistan. If Karachi port access was to be provided, Jodhpur was supposed to ally with Pakistan. If Vizag port was supposed to be provided, then Hyderabad would have emerged as a bigger country, including the eastern state provinces within it. Today, after 75 years, but that was dealt very strongly, and a great nation was formed. And today, number of fault lines are still there. The fault lines have been too many in modern India that we had inherited. Few from the past and new ones have been created after independence. I'll just give some instances. Caste exists. That is a major fault line in our country. Communal divide is there. No matter what we say, it is there. Terrorism is the biggest enemy. Ultra-communism or communist revolt is also affecting large part of our country. Paradox of personal law is glaring. Constitution guarantees freedom of expression, yet repressive personal laws take away basic fundamental rights of the individual. And this was demonstrated in the late 80s when Shah Banu got a verdict from the Supreme Court, and it was undone here in this house. Yet the concept of Bharat has existed for more than 5,000 years, since the Harappan age till date. In spite of all the vicissitudes, the sense of oneness exists. Sir, the Parliament has been the platform of many events that has shaped this nation in last 75 years. The Constitution is the instrument in making this country vibrant, modern, and forward-looking. It ensures rule of law, for which independence of judiciary has been protected and guarded religiously. Our Constitution is dynamic. The first amendment moved by the first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, in May 1951, just a year after Constitution being adopted in the Constituent Assembly, clearly demonstrates keeping in tune with the time. And here I would like to quote what Pandit Nehru had stated. Now we come to this House for amendments because we have noticed some lacuna. We have, of course, of various interpretations by the court. And he goes on explaining, this House knows very well that there are many kinds of constitution in the world. There is the constitution which is not written down, citing the United Kingdom's constitution. and also he has mentioned about the Constitution of United States. And there he says, we have a written constitution like the constitution of that great country, where the constitution to some extent limits the authority of the parliament or of the Congress. So bringing a semblance of both together, where rigidity will be little bit of flexible and one can move ahead. That's how the first amendment relating to Article 19, addition of 31A and 31B was incorporated, so that the elected government can prepare specific programs for the development of the country. Sir, the basic structure is a moot point which I believe should be discussed when we are discussing about the 75 years of our independence. Supreme Court, I need, sir, a little bit of time. Rule of law means the parameters of decision making and discretion remains always circumscribed by the Constitution. We were witness to the revocation of Article 370 in this House. Uniform Civil Code is another relevant matter that needs to be fulfilled, as Constitution has stipulated. Lot of talk is being made about nation, one election. Various views are expressed. A committee has been formed. Let's wait for their recommendations. But I feel it's not something unachievable. I believe it is a necessity. We cannot have elections every year. And we should also remember what Gandhiji had said. He always said, India belongs to all who live in it. Feeling others' pain is the mark of a good individual. And the prarthana that is also sung in all Gandhian ashrams is Vaishnava Janato Tena Kahiye. पीड़ा जो दूसरे के पीड़ा जानते हैं वही वैष्णव ही होते हैं. And that is the essence of our republic, the mantra of our constitution. Sir, during my 25 years in this house, I've seen
completed silver jubilee, the important matter.
I have seen stringent law being implemented like POTA in a joint session, and the division of this House relating to Indo-US nuclear treaty. I witnessed Atalji's government fall by one vote when Naitikata was given a goodbye. I had the fortune to represent our parliament in the making of the Right to Information Act. That was in 2005. I felt elated the other day when I received a small note from the then Prime Minister after criticizing him forcefully in this House relating to the nuclear agreement, and I was totally taken aback. And that demonstrated the true democratic temper of the then Prime Minister, Dr. Sabha. We also GST being implemented in a midnight hour. India celebrated 25 years of independence, and the freedom fighters were presented with a copper plaque by the then Prime Minister, Mrs. Indira Gandhi. On 50th year of independence, when Mr. Sangma was sitting in the chair, Parliament held special session which continued beyond midnight, as I don't know how long we'll be sitting here today, but that continued beyond midnight till 3 o'clock in the morning. On 75th year completion, not only a special session is being held,
Please.
but a newly constructed magnificent Sansad Soda has been built, and session will start from tomorrow. This Sansad Bhavan functioned since 1927. The Central Hall was the library and became the venue of the Constituent Assembly. The Supreme Court, when it came into existence, was functioning in the Rajya Sabha house. So these are certain instances which we remember,
Yes.
and which we also remember. I don't know what will happen once we move out to the new Saudha. How this will be utilized.
Become a museum.
Before concluding, sir, I will just mention one aspect. And that aspect is in this house, in Lok Sabha, when the ruling party had a brute majority of more than 400 members during Rajiv Gandhi's time. Constitution amendment was made and 10th schedule was added. For the first time in the Constitution, party was mentioned. Earlier in the Constitution, party within quote was never mentioned. It was all individual members. The rights of the individual was recognized. But after 10th schedule addition, party came into existence.
Yes.
And by that, all of us have lost our voice. Individual opinion we cannot express it here. Though no matter how much we oppose certain aspects of a bill, when there is a whip, the terrorism of whip is very much hanging over our head. That needs to be corrected. If not today, of course in future, I believe the people of India will correct it.
Thank you.
Because with rampant fractured mandate, that became a necessity. But I think it is necessary now that individual members should express themselves in this House. Unless you do that, the discussion, deliberations in the House becomes sterile. We know what Madam Supriya Sule is going to speak. We anticipate what Nishikant Dubey is going to speak. We all know.
How?
We also know Professor Saugat Rai view, what he is going to speak. Because every view today is because of the party. The party gives dictate that this is the view is to be expressed. I also follow that view. And I also follow another point. And that is, we have committed ourselves to the rules and regulations of the process of the Parliament. We never jump to the well. BJD perhaps is the first party never jump to the well. And this has been recognized by the leader of the House, by the deputy leader of the House, and also by the chairman. No.
NCP also.
And that's why I say there are certain customs and regulations which needs to be maintained for a proper functioning of the House. And the best part in our Constitution that is enshrined is this, that yes, I should have that strength to act. I may not accept the other point of view, but should I quarrel with him? He has a different point of view. Let me accept it. And that is what Hinduism is all about.
Yes.
That is what Indianness is all about.
Please continue.
We always have
Mahtab ji.
different path. That is what Bharatiyata is about.
Mahtab ji,
That is
please
what
continue.
Bharatiyata
Yeah.
is about.
Your
That's the reason why I would say
Thank you.
the other may have a different point of view. That is what Swami Vivekananda had said in Chicago's speech. It's not that I tolerate another religion. I accept that point of view. That is what Swamiji had said.
Yes.
So let us have that point of view here. Let us hear others, and by hearing others, we can frame our own opinion and still hold